Hi everyone, this is Christine. It is Saturday, September 3rd, 2016, and I want to share something with you that came to me today. It's about hemispheres. I'm talking about the planet in general. Okay, I'm going to draw a picture. Okay, so we have the Earth here. We've got the northern hemisphere. That's us in America and Europe, all those countries. We have the southern hemisphere. This would be Africa, India, pretty much the third world countries. This is the equator that divides it in the middle. The northern hemisphere is primarily white people. Okay, Europe, Americans, aside from Native American Indians who are brown, the majority of the northern hemisphere people are white. England, all of those countries, France, whatever. Southern hemisphere people, Africa, India, the Middle East, Pakistan, all those countries, they're all brown people. So we have a division already, white people versus brown people. The northern hemisphere obviously is cold. These are mountains. Now, granted, there are mountains down here too, but it's not really cold down here. The northern hemisphere is likened to mountains and snow, like Colorado, Alaska, things like that, Canada. It's cold weather. Southern hemisphere is likened to heat, being south of the equator, hot weather, humidity, things like that. Okay? The northern hemisphere, if the Earth was a person, this middle part would be your waist. The northern part would be your head and your brains, your thinking. The southern hemisphere obviously would be your sexual organs. It's your passion, your fire, your creativity. If you look at the 7 chakras in a person's body, the first chakra is red, then orange, then yellow. Okay, the red is like your root or your sexual. The orange is creativity. The yellow is power. All 3 of those, red, orange, and yellow, are colors that are symbolic of a flame or a fire. Okay, so you've got fire down here in the southern hemisphere, which again, like I was saying, if this was a human being, it would be the sexual organs. It would be passion. Up top, you have the heart chakra, which is green. You've got the throat chakra, which is blue. And then you've got the third eye, which is in the middle of your forehead. And that's like an indigo, which is a little bit darker blue. But green and blue are all known to be cool colors, as in water is cool. So you've got coolness up here, and you've got fire down here. When you mix fire and cold together, you get a spiraling, and you get yourself a tornado, a hurricane, a whirlwind, etc. You also get domestic violence, because the cool, the brain, the thinking, the head is always the man, if you look at it from a masculine and a feminine point of view. The masculine is always in his head. He's thinking, he's logical, he's analytical. He doesn't have emotions. I mean, he does, but he hides them. And he's pretty much always in his head. He's not really an emotional creature. So the man is up here in the north, and he sits on or oppresses the south, just like how the north sits on the south, just like how the white man oppresses the black man, like with slavery. Just how the husband oppresses the wife, okay, feminine energy versus masculine energy. Up in the northern hemisphere, like I was saying before I get sidetracked, the man is the north. He's cool, he's calm, he's collected, he is logical, he's analytical, he's not emotions. The woman is down here at the bottom. She is the sexual organs. She is creativity. She's power. She's yellow sunshine, which is happiness. She is emotions. Okay, so we've got man and woman. divided at the waist through the equator. Or we've got the northern hemisphere, the Europeans, and the southern, which is the black people, the white people and the black people. We've got the rich people and the poor people, because third world countries are known to be poor, and we already know that the white people are rich because look at how the Queen of England lives in palaces, and kings and stuff like that living in palaces. These people have the money, these people go without. The man has all the resources in the home. He brings in the money, the house is his, the wife is his, the children are his because they all take his last name. He's got all the resources, and she is oppressed underneath him. Just like with the fall of Adam and Eve, Eve would desire her husband, but he shall rule over you. Look at this. He's ruling over her, even on the planet and in the body. Okay, and even in gender. So, up here in the north, I'm going to say we've got the devil up here, okay? We've got worship of masculine energy up here, which is no emotion. It's conformity, it's box-like thinking, it's everything must be done prim and proper, just like how in England you have to behave like a certain lady, you have to sit a certain way, you have to eat a certain way, there are certain forks and knives you're supposed to use, everything is prim and proper. Okay, this is box-like thinking, this is your coffin, this is the grave, it's death, it's conformity. Down here in the south, you have, believe it or not, feminine worship. In India, they worship the divine feminine. This is the land of women. This is the land of men, the north, the white man, us. India has been trying to keep alive the divine feminine. This is why they have fire down there, and even volcanoes. The woman is the fire, she's the heat. The man is the coolness, he's the mountain with the snow. Her warmth melts his heart. The Bible is up here in the north through Christianity. Hinduism and the divine feminine is down here in the south. Also, if you look, now granted, men in these third world countries treat their women like crap too, just like all other men do. Okay, that's global. That doesn't have to just be up north, that's everywhere. But that's just on a smaller scale, in the household. I'm talking about here on the earth, but I'm also talking about mankind. But it can be man and woman. It can also be a single person. Like if this was an actual person, this could be a person's brain is oppressing his own sexual energy and his creativity. So he's not letting his own divine feminine express itself because the brain is telling it to shut up. So this could actually be a person, or it could be a husband and wife relationship, or it could be the planet as a whole, or it could be masculine and feminine as, like gender. In India, if you see the women, they always wear those saris, and yes, S-A-R-I. Actually, the way I just said it, it sounds like sorry, as in, like, I am sorry I hurt you, as an apology. It's spelled S-A-R-I, which actually reminds me of Sarai, or Sarai, or Sarah, as in Abraham and Sarah. But they wear a sari, and what it is they wear an underskirt first, and then they wrap this sari around their waist, and they tuck it in along along the hemline of the or the waistline of the underskirt, and then they take the remaining part, they gather it up and hang it over their shoulder, and then pin it with a safety pin. But my point is that they wrap this sari around their waist, around their body, and then it goes up over their shoulder. They wrap their clothing around them just like how a coiled snake would wrap itself around a pole. In this case, the woman's body would be the pole. So everything, I mean, even like their saris, it's a beautiful long piece of material with gorgeous borders on it and beautiful colors. It's usually hand woven. I mean, all of this is the divine feminine. So down here, I mean, even in India, the way the women dress, it's all about the feminine. It's about women. And these people down here who have been oppressed as third world countries and have nothing, they're living in absolute poverty, are the ones who are trying to keep the divine feminine alive. And the divine feminine is Eve, guys. It's the woman who's been oppressed and shoved under and treated like crap. And that's exactly what's been happening with third world countries. They've been treated like crap. And they are the woman, guys. The man has been up top, the white man, because the white man has been the one oppressing the dark-skinned man. Through slavery, through everything else. You know, the Native Americans, whatever. He's been not very nice. The white man hasn't been. The white man has been the masculinity, the logic, the conformity, the box-like thinking. It's been, you know, England and their proper gentlemen and behaving like a lady and everything prim and proper and stuff like that. That's what's been going up here in the northern hemisphere, and they have all the money, and the man up here who has everything oppresses the woman. The white man oppresses the dark man. Do you remember in scripture how it talks about in the last days the poles are going to be shifted? They're going to flip. So the south pole is going to flip up to the north, and the north is going to flip down. It's not a physical flipping, and actually if you've been following Anna's videos, you already know that this already happened. Okay, it happened in the spiritual realm. So it's done. It's been fulfilled. But my point is, the north, in flipping these poles, the north, in its coldness, and no heart, no feelings, no emotions, because that's the only way you can oppress your fellow man, is if you got no heart, and you have no feelings and no emotions, and you just don't care about anybody. That's the only way you can oppress your fellow mankind, or womankind. So these people up here are cold, okay? They're with the snow and the mountains, and they're ice. Ice cold heart. No feelings. That's why they're able to hurt their fellow man. And like I'm saying, even it happens even down here, okay? So you can have Indian men who are ice cold because they're too much in their head, so they're oppressing their own wives, or they're oppressing their own divine feminine in their own body. But my point is that we're going to flip, and we've already flipped it. The north, so everybody who's been stuck in their head is finally going to flip to the south, and they're going to get back in touch with their divine feminine, which is the sexual energy, guys. And I'm not talking about going out and becoming promiscuous. It's about your power. The yellow is your power in the stomach area. The orange is your creativity. It's being able to be musical and artistic again, and making crafts and doing baking and whatever you want to, doing building and woodworking, whatever you want to do, anything creative. It's getting back in touch with your creativity. It's taking your power back through the yellow chakra. It's getting creative again through the orange chakra, and it's getting back in touch with your sexuality and reproduction, which isn't just having children, but it's just reproducing in life. It's moving the world forward. That's what reproducing is. You're just moving the world forward. So the coldness up here is going to flip. This pole is going to flip and get in touch with this part, and then this hot part, like the southern part, the fire and the flame part of the equator, the southern hemisphere, is going to flip to the north, and all it's going to get is some balance, because she's been so oppressed and beaten down and you know, like kicked underfoot, that she's going to be given some structure and a little bit of control, and she's not going to be wild and crazy anymore, because that's what happens when you take a free animal and you put him in a cage and you beat the crap out of him. He becomes like a wild beast. So she's now going to get some control. She's not going to be a wild beast anymore. She's not going to be mean and nasty anymore. She's going to be loved. She's going to get some control. She'll be taken care of. She'll be watched over. So this pole is going to be flipped. And the brown man, if you look at it from another perspective, the brown man, the third world countries who were oppressed, are now going to be watched over and taken care of and loved by the white man who was once beating the crap out of them through slavery. And the white man is going to learn how to have a heart from his woman, from the divine feminine. And these two, what they will do is they will meet in the middle at the equator, and there will no longer be a hurricane, whirlwind, tornado situation of domestic violence, man versus woman, white man versus brown man, rich versus poor. There will no longer be this whirlwind type of fight in the family, because the family is the home, and the home is this planet, guys. This planet is our home. So we've got all this fighting and stuff. All it is just one huge domestic violence fight in the family, except that the family is our planet. But when the North and the South can meet in the middle at the equator, we can bring, key word here, balance. Remember, the balance is the middle path. You can bring balance again, and this actually looks like a balance beam in gymnastics. And also, if you take this bottom half and you flip it up, okay, like pretend this is a piece of paper and this is the crease where you folded it. You take this bottom half and you flip it up, then these two actually become a half a moon. She lays on top of him, and the two become one. They're no longer divided, but they're now one. Okay, so I just wanted to show that to everyone. I don't know if this makes any sense to anybody, but it's what came to me, and I felt like there was some truth to it. So I thought I would share it, because maybe it will help someone else or come in handy for someone else. But I found it very beautiful, and I don't know where this came from or why it came from, but the ball started rolling. I just got one thought, and the ball started rolling, and it just took me off to this whole picture and understanding. So I figured I'd share it in case it interests anyone else. Okay, have a great day, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thanks for letting me share. And I will talk to you again soon in the next video, whenever that is. Okay, bye-bye.